Alright, so I'm going to be doing a quick video on how to open up and disassemble this HP, let's see, DV6-6013cl. Okay, so first what you want to do is remove the battery, of course, and then we're going to open it up, press and hold the power button for about 10 to 15 seconds. Alright, this will drain any power from in the computer so you don't risk damaging anything. Okay, and then after that we're going to want to remove all the screws. So we can take this panel out after you remove the battery, sliding it this way. You slide it the other way. The panel will come up, just grab it and pull it out. Okay. Alright, so now we got to remove all the screws. I removed most of them already, so there's using a PH1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know if I missed any, but 9. Let's see, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And then also remove the 4 holding the hard drive in place. After you remove this screw here, you can take the CD drive out. Just push the CD drive through like this. There's 3 more screws under there. You want to remove those as well. Okay. Now we're going to disconnect the hard drive. So the hard drive, you lift up this little metal hard drive caddy bracket. Right, make sure it's not getting caught on anything. You got this pull tab here, so you just grab this and pull it up. Okay, just like this. Sometimes it helps to kind of wiggle it as you pull it. So just like that, and there we go. We got the hard drive out. Okay, so this is a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. You can upgrade this with a 2.5-inch SATA SSD if you want. Okay, it makes a huge difference. I highly recommend doing an SSD upgrade. But yeah. Alright, so we're going to unplug this cable here. So I just get my fingernails on both sides, and then I kind of just rock the connector and it pops out like that. If you can't do that with your fingernails, you can try with the cables, but be careful because you can damage those easily. Okay, I don't remember if I have to take all of this out actually, because I'm just going to be changing the fan. So the RAM here, let's go over this. So the RAM, you pull those 2 tabs to the sides, and then the RAM, it'll pop up and you can pull it out like that. They covered this with a sticker, so I can't see what it is, but it is DDR3. Man, they covered everything. Okay, let me peel off one of these stickers since the warranty is already void anyways. It's so old. Okay, let's peel this off. So this has a 2 gig PC3 10600 or 106,000S. I don't know. Here you go. Sorry. 2 gig PC3 10600S. So that's what you want. If you want, you can upgrade this with 2 4 gig sticks so you can have 8 gigs of RAM. But yeah, depending how you use this computer. This computer is pretty old, so I mean, if you're using Windows 10 on it, I would recommend 8 gigs of RAM and an SSD, and that'll make your computer a lot faster. Okay. So sometimes these things get dirty. I wipe them down. Some people think I'm crazy for doing that, but I mean, I've never had RAM have issues because of that. As long as you make sure you're grounded, you're not gonna release a static charge into the sticks of RAM, you should be okay. The pins are gold, and gold doesn't really react to much, so it won't really have any issues with the oils or something in your hand. Okay, so we got all of the screws out. Just double check. You don't want to remove this screw here. That's for the heatsink. Don't take that out. There's another screw there for the heatsink as well. You got the CMOS battery here. If you want to take that out, you can. You just have to get a little flathead screwdriver. There's a little hole there, and you push it forward, and while you're pushing it forward, you can pop it up. Right? The wireless card here. I've done a lot of these. The antennas, you just pull up from the tail. Don't try and pry up from the front of these connectors. Get the screws out. There's 2 screws, and it'll pop up like the RAM. You can pull it out. Okay, so that's pretty much all there is for that. As far as upgrading goes, this one's having a fan issue. I think something's just stuck in it, so we're going to open up the laptop. Okay, so now we have to remove the keyboard. So to remove the keyboard, you need a flat tool, something like this. Any flat tool like this would work. Alright, and then as you slide the tool along, you'll actually feel like some raised bumps, and that's where the clips are. Usually you want to get the clips towards the middle first, and then you can pick up and hold the keyboard up like this, okay? Then you just go along the sides, okay, like this, and pry those up as well. Alright, after you get that up, you can pull the keyboard out. It's stuck for some reason, so you can pull it up like that. Be careful because there are cables attached underneath. So you pull the thing forward. Here you can see there's a little latch here. You flip this black latch up just like that, and then you can pull this out. Okay, this is pretty dusty, so I am going to have to clean it off later. I'm not going to show the reassembly, but you basically do everything in reverse. Plug the cable back in, put the latch back down. Make sure you put the bottom side in first, and then hold the middle so that it flexes, so you can put the sides in first of the keyboard, and then you can push the rest down. Okay, so I'm not going to show the whole reassembly because it's basically just everything in reverse. Hopefully you didn't mix up all the screws because they are different sizes, shapes, and lengths, and you don't want to get them mixed up. This is really dusty, so I'm going to clean it off and then I'll be back. Alright, so I'm back. Cleaned out quite a bit of the dust. It's still a little dirty, but that's fine. One other thing to note, this has these little parts that catch here. So when you put this back, you kind of have to slide it with this pressed down slightly, okay, because you want those metal things to catch back on there. Actually, do they need to? Maybe not, actually. I would have thought this needs to get caught underneath this part, but I guess not. So normally when you put these back, you have to kind of get those to go underneath. Maybe you do. No, it doesn't need that, so that's interesting. Okay, so set the keyboard aside. Then you got all these cables and screws under here. We're going to have to undo all the screws. So take these screws out. Again, make sure to keep the screws in order because they are different sizes, shapes, and lengths. You don't want to get them mixed up. This computer has been opened before, and a lot of people put screws in random places, so I'm not really mentioning which screws go where, because they probably put them in the wrong spots. So if you're wondering why I'm not saying, like, some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but yeah, just keep that in mind and try and keep the screws in order. You don't want to get them all mixed up. Okay, usually to do that I put them on a layout on my desk, or I have like a magnetic thing that I put them on. Okay, so we're going to undo this cable. I believe this one's for the power button, and probably also that internet one. I'm going to undo this latch. I can't pull the cable out, but that's for the trackpad. And then I'm going to undo this cable as well. I think this is for the fingerprint sensor. I won't know for sure until I actually pull the top panel off, but we'll see. Alright, so now that we got all of these flat ribbon cables detached, these ones you don't need to worry about. The LCD cable, they're connected on the bottom layer, not on the top. So yeah, alright, we're going to turn this over. There's a gap here. I don't know if you can see it, sorry. There's a gap here. So what we're gonna do is I take my fingernails and then I push on the back while I'm pulling it with my fingernails like this. Okay, and that's how I pop the cover of the palm rest out. Okay, so now you can see you can get it up like this. Okay, and then I just run my fingernails along, or you can use your pry tools. One of the screws on this one was broken and wouldn't come out, so I'm gonna have to see if I can pull it out now that I'm holding the palm rest up. We will see. Okay, so let's go here. Alright, so now the palm rest is coming up. You can see. Alright, I don't know why it's getting stuck on something here. Did I miss a screw? Oh, oops, I missed one screw. So there's one screw here that we need to remove as well. So keep in mind, underneath the hard drive, there's another screw. Okay, I was wondering why the panel wasn't coming off. That's very important. If you just yank on it, you're going to damage something, so make sure you remove that screw as well. Okay, now the panel is actually coming forward. I think, where's that one screw that's stuck in here? It's on the bottom. Okay, it's on this side. So there's one screw down here that I couldn't get out because the mechanism, I think the plastic broke underneath it. Okay, so now I'm just going to pull this out. So I'm pulling this towards myself while I'm lifting it up, and you can see it unclipped here. And then we're going to go ahead and do the other side as well. So same thing. Pull this. Oh, I think the screw's holding onto it, so I don't know if it's going to come out. Let's see. Okay, so this is coming up. Oh, it's stuck. Okay, I'm going to keep the speaker assembly down by, oops, hopefully you can see that. I'm pushing this down. Oh, I missed one. I thought I got all of these. Man, why am I missing so many screws today? Okay, we're going to set that one aside as well. Okay, hopefully now we can lift the whole panel up. There we go. Alright, so here you can see the trackpad cable came out in this. So the trackpad one's the only tricky one. You have to like guide that in while you put the panel in place. But other than that, the rest you can kind of like move them around. Alright, so here you can see the bottom. You can see the dust from the fan. I'm going to have to clean that because their fan's having problems. Oh yeah, it's definitely, the fan doesn't spin well, so I'm going to have to see if I can fix this fan. Hopefully this fan's repairable and I don't need to replace it. But yeah, you got these two USB ports, so that's what that cable was that you could see. So they're on a separate board. If you need to replace it, you can. Got this speaker connector here, the fan connector here, and the LCD connector here. I'm going to clean the dust out real quick and then I'll be back again. Alright. Let's pause this. Sorry about that, a customer called. So, okay, so basically I took this off and then I cleaned it up. I got rid of the dust, and now we're going to remove the fan and see if it can be repaired. Okay, so be careful with the screen because now there's less screws holding it in place. The hinge mechanism will be a lot weaker. Okay, alright, so let's remove the fan if we can. So we're gonna take out these two cables here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. Okay, so you got this LCD or LVDS connector. Again, hopefully you held down the power button to drain the power from it, and then you just pop it up like that. So I pull on this and then I kind of use my fingernail underneath and pop it up slightly. Okay, you can use a plastic pry tool, but be careful. Make sure you're just prying this and not the connector on the board itself. Okay, this connector is a little difficult to remove. What I do is I grab as close to the cable, the connector as I can, and then you kind of just wiggle it as you pull it, alright, and it'll pop out like that. Okay, so this wire, you're going to have to move it out of the way. I don't know if this fan can be removed without taking the whole board out. We'll see. So let's disconnect the fan connector here. I'll make it a better view here. Okay, so I just used my fingernail on the edge of the connector and just wiggle it like that. It pops out. Excuse me. Alright, we got one screw here. And we got another screw up in this corner here. So remove all of those. Okay. Alright, so now we got those two screws out. I think the fan should be able to come out. Let's see. No? Oh man, it looks like the fan is attached to the heatsink. Oh, I'm gonna have to take the whole board out of this one, it looks like. I guess that's good for you guys. You'll get to see a complete board, motherboard removal. Okay, so I'm gonna have to zoom back out. And that means I'm gonna have to remove all the stuff around it, I think. Let's see here. Let's move the speakers out of the way. Oops, so I don't know if you can see it. Let's zoom out some more. So I just took this speaker assembly out. You kind of just wiggle it and it'll come out. Yeah, I think the fan is held in place onto the other side of this. Okay, so I am going to have to remove a bunch of other components. Let's disconnect the USB board here, flip that latch up, pull that out. I'm going to have to take out the wireless antennas and all of this stuff. So, are there any screws holding this board? It looks like no. Alright, let's remove this speaker cable here. Pinch it and wiggle this out to pull it out. Okay. Just like that. This cable's kinda, you want to be careful with this speaker cable because it's gonna flop around now. Alright. So let's flip the computer back over. And let's see, what am I gonna have to remove? Let's zoom in a little bit better. Okay. Alright, so I think we're gonna have to remove the wireless antennas. So let's pull these two out. Just pull it like this. Okay, again from the tail. You don't want to lift from the front of the bracket. So I'm just going underneath the tail and pulling it up. Okay, so we got those antennas out. I'm going to take the two screws out for the wireless card here. Alright, wasn't intending to have to do a complete disassembly, but it looks like we're going to have to. Alright, let's take this screw out all the way. Alright, get those cables out of the way. and then just wiggle and pull back the wireless card. Okay, so we're going to take that out. The wireless card is held onto the plastic frame, so it does prevent you from removing the motherboard. So you do have to take that out. Alright, let's see. Do I need to take all of this out too? We got this one cable here going up through there, and the other cable going up through there. So, okay, we'll have to disconnect the cable, but we can leave them in here. So let's unhook this. This is the optical disk drive or CD drive connector. So same thing, you just pull this cable out. Okay, and we can leave that in there. We already unplugged that. I think we can leave all of those in there. So let's see here. Yeah, let's flip it back over, open it up gently. Let's see if the board is still hooked onto anything. There's one screw down here that we need to remove. Okay, so let's remove that screw as well. Okay, and hopefully that's everything. Okay, let's try and lift the board up now. Okay, it is coming up. Let's get the speaker. Oops, let me zoom back out for you. Oh, too far, too far. Go back in. There we go. Oh geez, why is it doing that? Stop it. There we go. Okay, so let's get the speaker assembly back out of the way. Okay, just kind of wiggle it and pull it up, just like that. Alright, then we can lift this board up, get that screen or this LCD cable out of the way. Right? Oh, there's also the charge port connector here, so just pinch that, hold on to the board tight, and then just wiggle it out. As you can see, if you keep wiggling it, it walks itself out. Okay, here we go. Now let's lift the board up. So you have to do it at an angle like this, and then you can pull this out. Make sure the cables aren't getting caught on it. You can rotate the thing around, and there we go. So we got the fan out. Now I can actually, I guess I'll clean this out as well. It's not too dusty because I already blew the dust out of it. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside. Just set it on the ground or somewhere out of the way. Alright, make sure it's not gonna flip over. The screen is heavy, so you probably want to lay it down screen side down. Alright, so I got this anti-static mat here that I put. I'm gonna clean off some more dust here if it comes off. I don't know. It looks like it's staying. Okay. So they built this design that you have to take these little screws out. So you'll probably need to switch to a PH0 screwdriver. Alright, we're going to remove the 4 screws here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. Okay, so we got all those screws out. And now the fan should come out. There is this adhesive here that we're going to have to peel out most likely. Oh yeah, normally you'd peel this off, but I think the last person, maybe they changed the fan and cut that. Alright, so let's take the fan out. Okay, is it going to come out or something else still holding it? That's weird. Okay, there's some broken clips here. Okay, so these plastic things on top are pretty solid. You have to move them out of the way when you lift this up, okay? And then you can lift it. So this part is also tucked underneath the board, so make sure that you slide it out this way, not like trying to just rip it up. Okay, so there we go. Here you can see this thing has a lot of dirt and dust still in it, even after blowing it with a high-powered air blower. So I'm going to clean that out, and I'll be back again. Alright, I'm back. So I cleaned this out best I could. Just used a toothbrush and scrubbed it. You can tell it's clean because you can actually see through the fins now. Okay, on both sides. Hopefully, how do I angle that? I don't know. This side is harder to see because it's like copper, but yeah. But when you have it cleaned up properly, then if you look, you can actually see through the fins here. Okay, so, oh, there we go. You can see through it there. You have to angle it just right, then you can see through the whole thing. Alright, so there we go. We got the board cleaned up. We're going to set that aside as well. Okay. Alright, then we got the fan here. So I was trying to see if I could repair this fan, but I don't know. It doesn't seem to want to come out, the propellers. So this one we might not be able to repair. I'm going to lift the sticker up and see if I can add grease under this side. I kind of doubt it. But so we might have to replace it. They have the model number here, MF6012 or MF60120V1-C181-S9A. So hopefully that will help somebody if you need the model number of this fan, or you can just look up the DV6 fan and make sure it looks the same. Alright, so I'm going to peel this label up, and nope, it's just a solid plastic on the back here. So if I did, I'd have to like drill a hole through that, and then sometimes I can add grease. I'm going to try and pull up the fan. Sometimes you can pull it up by force, but you want to be careful because these fins might break off. If you can, you technically want like a big device that fits these slots perfectly, and then what you do is you can just push this down and it'll pull up on all the sides. But I don't know. Maybe I should build something like that, but it'd be different for every single fan. So I don't know how I would do that. Maybe I have to like 3D print a special tool. Nah. Okay, that doesn't want to come out either. Let's see, can I push it through from the other side? So right now I'm just pushing on the fan really hard, and hopefully it will come out, but it doesn't seem to want to move. But this does need to come out, because otherwise it's not gonna work. So I don't know if pulling up from this side is a better idea, but wow, this one is held in there really strong. Sometimes you gotta wiggle it around. But no, I don't think it's going to come out. I think this one we have to actually buy a new fan. Either buy a new fan or I have to try the drilling method, but I don't know. Alright, but that's basically all there is. I'm hoping I'm going to see a little bit more if I can somehow get this out. I need some kind of special tool to make or something. I don't know. If not, I'm going to try the drilling method. I'll ask the customer what they want, depending on how quickly they need it. And then we'd probably just order a new fan. Yeah, I don't think this is going to come out. Jeez, I think the fan propellers will break off before I can pull this thing out. Come on. Oh, I felt it. Is it coming out, or is it just gonna explode? Something's coming up. Is it just the motors detaching from the bottom? Oh yeah, I think I'm just detaching the motor from the thing. Okay, well, that doesn't work, so I'm gonna ask the customer what they want to do. I probably recommend they get a new fan because this one's gonna break again really easily. So yeah, alright. I'm gonna go message them, and yeah, hopefully this video helped you guys. To put it back, you just do everything in reverse, so you don't really need a reassembly video. You just do everything in reverse. When you put this back in, make sure you put it at the angle so that you get the headphone jacks in first, and then make sure you get all the cables out from underneath the board. But that's pretty much all there is to it. Here you can see the CMOS battery a bit better, and the RAM. And yeah, so hopefully this video helped you. If it did, please like and subscribe so that others can find these videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Alright, bye.